Arjun Erigaisi is one of the top players in the world. And in this game, I managed to win with an early pawn sacrifice and an attacking approach. Let's see how the attack unfolded and led to a decisive victory for me. So, in this game, I had white pieces and Arjun was black. So, I started with the move at d4. Knight f6 was played. I played c4. He played e6. Knight f3. d5. I went for the move g3, the Catalan system. So in this position, so there are quite a few ways black can play. One is bishop b4 check, another is bishop e7, or then there is also what Arjun played, d takes e4. So capturing the pawn early. Now in this position, white can of course capture the pawn back by playing queen f4 check and then getting it, but it's not the best because to get the pawn back we have to make these queen moves and then black can try to get more development done, and then it's difficult for white to put pressure. So white should continue with the regular development and then just try to play. So then I played bishop g2. Then Arjun played this move, bishop d7. So the idea behind this is that if knight e5 is played, then bishop c6, then knight takes c6, knight takes c6. Actually, after bishop takes c6, b takes c6, he will have triple pawns, but then my light square bishop won't be there, and then he can try to create some activity. And in this, he is willing to give up the pawn in some lines, but he'll try to play queen d7, long castle at some point, and then go for h5, h4. So very aggressive type of play actually. So then in this position, I decided to play just castle and not knight e5. So then he played bishop c6 in this position. So I played the move knight bd2, just developing my knight and putting pressure on that c4 pawn. So then Arjun played b5. So I played the move queen c2. So I'm like, okay, Arjun is up a pawn, but that's fine. I definitely have compensation because I have a pawn in the center. My pieces are slightly active and I can put some pressure on the queen side as well. So he goes for the move bishop e7. Now I played b3. So I wanted to get rid of this pawn because if that pawn is there, then it will be difficult for me to create activity on the queen side. And after c takes b3, a takes b3, I get this semi-open file as well that I can try to make use of. Then in this position, Arjun castled. So I played the move bishop a3. So trying to exchange the bishops, because if the bishops are exchanged, then the c5 square, I can try to bring my knight, maybe a5 square. So basically the dark squares on the queen side are already weak, and if the bishops are exchanged, then it will become even more easier for me to put pressure on those dark square weaknesses. So but what if b4 gets played? This is what Arjun played. So I was not worried about it. I actually played bishop a3 and hoping that he would play b4 because this is a provoking move. Now the bishop goes back to b2, but every pawn move weakens some squares. The pawn is not on b5, the pawn is on b4. So in some lines, I can bring my knight to c4 and maybe shift it to a5 or e5 and put pressure on Arjun. So then in this position, he played the move bishop b5. I just defended the pawn, improved my rook's position. Then he played c6. No worries. I have one pawn in the center and it's time to bring another pawn in the center. So definitely I have compensation for the pawn in this position. Now, before we go ahead with how the game unfolded, so I want to discuss a bit about chessneurons.com. It is a platform that I have developed to improve one's positional play, and if you want, you can check the 7-day free trial, and there are many features like daily positional puzzles, discussion forum, informative blogs, weekly blogs, so weekly videos of mine of 30 minutes each, and many more things. So please check it out today. Now let's go back to the game. So Arjun in this position, he's like, all right, let me also continue with my development. Then I played e5 because see, I'm the one who is down a pawn. So if given time, then Arjun will maybe play a5, maybe knight b6 and then a4, maybe he might play a5 and then queen c7 or rook c8, and then he might go for c5 ideas. Of course, I have to play in the energetic manner. So I played e5, gaining space on the king side. Then knight e5 was played. I centralized my knight e4 in this position. And then in this position, Arjun is like, all right, I'm not worried about your kingside activity. I'm going to play queen b6. I'm planning for c5. So then I played the move knight g5. Of course, I'm going to put pressure on the king side. He doesn't have as many defenders there. This made in one threat. So he played the move g6. Now more and more pieces, of course, should join in. I played the move queen e4. Want to play queen h4 and then increase the pressure. So Arjun played rook fc8. In this position, I played queen h4. Of course, the queen gets on the king side. If he plays something like h5, then at some point I might even play something like g4 and increase the pressure. Then knight f8 was played. So I played queen h6. Now, one of the most important things, at least psychologically, when we're playing a blitz game, this is a blitz game actually, is that when opponent is attacking, then it's always a bit unpleasant actually, and it's not so easy when so less time is there on the clock, even for players like Arjun, to find the correct defensive resources. So that's why. So he might be able to do something. I'm not denying that, but it's not one of the most easiest things to do it in blitz. So then he goes for the move a5. He's like, all right, I'm going to create activity on the queen side and then play a4. So for me, it was simple. I wanted to bring more and more pieces in the attack. So I played the move rook e4. My idea is clear. I want to play this, and I want to do something with this pawn and then attack my opponent. So then Arjun recognized that the pressure on the king side is increasing. So he played the move f6. He's like, all right, if he takes f6, my knight can get into the defense, or the bishop will get in and then go to g7. But in this position, once again, every pawn move weakens some squares. Pawn on f7 was covering this, but now with f6, so the cover over those squares has reduced. So I played the move knight takes h7, the piece sacrifice to weaken the king, because if knight takes h7, queen g6, king h8, of course, rook h4, and then the mate will follow on h7. So then he played king f8. So I recovered the piece. Now it is actually me who is up a pawn, and his king has gotten extremely weak. So he played f5. Now in this position, I played the move rook h4. So my plan was that if he plays bishop takes h4, I can play knight takes h4. I can try to play knight g6 and increase the attack. There is also a possibility that maybe I could play g takes h4 and then bring the knight to g5. So it depends, but in both of them, I would have tremendous amount of activity. So I was ready to sacrifice some material to keep my attacking chances. But I shouldn't recognize that the bishop is doing a good defensive role. So he's like, okay, let's run away with the king. So then I played queen g6 check. And then I played rook h6, putting pressure on the e6 pawn. So he played c5, renewing the communication of the queen, the king side. Then I played knight h4, improving my knight's position. I might have some ideas like this. So rook g8 was played in this position. Then I played the move queen h5. He played rook g5. No worries. Just queen d1. By the way, I could have, queen f7 type of moves are possible, but I wasn't sure. Just rook f8, and who knows if the queen will get trapped or something. Although it's not getting trapped, it can go to h7. But like, okay, I'm now up a pawn. Arjun's king is weak. Let me try to stabilize the position. And also, look at the time. I have 1 minute 8 seconds and he has 37 seconds. So yeah, he's trying to complicate the matters much more quickly because he has less time. So I wanted to keep the stability of the position. So I played queen d1, keeping an eye on the king side and on the queen side and to the center as well. So then bishop c6 was played. The knight comes back. It's time to kick the rook. And then in this position, I played knight d2. The rook is actually trapped. So decides to sacrifice it. I have to be a bit careful because yes, I'm up in material, but that knight can get to c3 and create something. So I played knight c4, improving my knight's position with a tempo. And now that rook is not there, so I can bring the queen to h5. That queen is not also there defending this, so I might be able to play queen g6 or queen f7 and increase the pressure over here. Then he goes for the move a4. He's trying to create a pass pawn there, and also b takes a4. If it happens, then this knight would be hanging. So I played the move queen f7. Then this knight c7 happened. So I played bishop into c6, queen into c6. Then in this position, I played the move rook c1. So now I'm planning to play something like knight f5 and win the queen. So Arjun played the move king d7, bringing the king back. So here I had a really nice idea. It was not so easy actually, but the idea was knight b6 check. The point is if queen takes b6, then there is rook takes c7. Because if queen takes c7, then there is queen e6 and rook h8 and it would be made. And if king takes e7, then queen e7 and then yeah, that is just lost actually. But not one of the most easiest moves in the blitz games. So I played the move b takes a4. I'm like, all right, let me just remove this pawn. Then he played b3. Then I played in this position once again. That similar thing, knight b6 was available, but I didn't notice that, so I played rook h7. So here he should actually have played something like rook e8, trying to stabilize the king side, and it's not that easy. I'm still better, but it's not that easy for me to continue. But yeah, he was in quite time trouble as well, and he noticed that okay, maybe now knight. So now I was threatening knight b6 because queen b6 has this queen e7. So in this position, he decided to stop knight b6 by playing rook a6. So, but in this position, I could still play knight b6. He has not actually stopped it because it's a check. So he cannot take it with the rook because the queen will go. So yeah, that knight b6. So I had the opportunity to play this since last few moves, but I did not do it. So I played rook b1. I'm like, all right, now if queen takes c4 happens, then queen e7 is there. Let me target this advanced pass pawn. So then knight d5 was played. So now he has defended this. So then I played knight d2 in this position, basically increasing the attack. Then he played queen c2, trying to attack both. But no worries. Rook takes b3, then queen takes d2, and then I have this really nice move, rook b7 check. So yes, that knight of mine is gone, but look at my pieces and look at Arjun's king. Then king c6 is played, and then in this position I decided to sacrifice the rook as well by playing queen e6 check. So of course, the point in this position is that if something like this, then there is queen takes d5. So my queen is also centralized, and say in this position, something like king a7 or king c7, I can take the bishop with a check. If king b6, then also I can, so say for example, if king b6, then I can give a check, and then I can capture the bishop with a check in this position. And if king c5, then in this position, so I mean basically you cannot capture the rook so easily. So and also yeah, let me just show you. So if king c8 is played, so he's like, you take the bishop, but it won't be with a check, so no need for me to take the bishop. I can play queen c4, attack the rook, and then put pressure on the king. If king here, then I can capture it with the rook. So in the game, instead of capturing the rook, he played the move king c5, but then I gave this check. Once again, I did not see, it's really important to not to try to be a bit too greedy, because I was worried that if queen takes a6 happens this, and then if king g2, maybe some sacrifice like this. Although I could play after queen a6, queen e1 check, queen f1, the queen will get into the defense. But I was like, all right, let's not allow any of such counterplay. So I played queen c8 check in this position. So he blocked it with this, but I played rook b5 check, and then I can win that rook with a check. So if I can win that rook with a check, then why not do that? Then he played king d3. I took the knight. Then he gave this check. Then he played king e2. I gave this check. Rook b2, putting pressure on the king. And now, of course, if king d1 or something, then queen d3 and this won't be made. So he played queen d2, but then I just captured this, and I have 19 seconds. He has just 5 seconds. So, and this is completely lost, and he resigned. So a really nice attacking game actually. So I sacrificed a pawn early on, and before he was able to create counterplay on the queen side, I went on the king side with that e5 move, knight g5, queen e4, queen h4, queen h6, rook e4, and then at some point it became a bit too much for him to handle, especially in a blitz game, and then I won the game. Thanks everyone for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.